I like having a table here between the two chairs, but this one's just a little bit too small for anything more than this plant. There's not really room for glasses or cell phones, so I need a bigger table. I told Ralph that I want to build the table myself. I want to do all the cuts, the sanding, the pocket holes, the drill pressing. No, just kidding, no drill presses. This is my first build. It's going to be simple. Ralph thinks it's a pretty cool idea that I want to build the table myself, but he did ask if I wanted him to be my Yoda. Now, I've only ever seen one Star Wars movie, and all I can remember is a lot of sand. Adam Driver wore his pants really high, and a girl wore a mummy costume. I don't remember what the movie was about or the plot, nothing. I do think that Adam Driver and Mummy Girl lived at the end. So I did agree that Ralph could be my Yoda, and I'm hoping that means he'll be making coffee and bringing me snacks. I'm Anna, thanks for clicking on this video, and come with me as I build my very first piece of furniture. Our first stop is Home Depot, where we use their convenient cutting service so that the wood would actually fit in my car to bring it home. First thing Ralph showed me was how to set up a stop on the miter stand. This way, all my pieces end up the same size. I'm making a box frame using 2x2s and adding 1x6s along the top as my surface. Again, we set up a stop to cut the 1x6s to size. These boards are cut at 18 inches. Our miter saw has a 4-inch blade, so to cut a 6-inch board, I have to cut, flip, and cut each piece. So far, I've cut 5 boards for the top. I also cut 4 short pieces as the width of the table. These are 14¼ inches. And 4 longer ones for the length of the table at 24 inches. I laid out the box and picked the prettiest sides of the wood to be showing. Then I marked where the pocket holes will go. I drilled holes using the jig set at 1½ inches. This part is a lot of fun. Each of the long pieces has 1 hole in each end. Even though this is a patio table, it's still a piece of furniture and I want it to look finished. This means a lot of sanding. I want the frame to look like metal, and to get this look, I didn't round out the corners or edges. I tried to keep everything more angular. It's time to start putting this together. I laid out my freshly sanded pieces to help me visualize the process. This is how the frames are looking with everything cut, sanded, and arranged. Do you notice anything wrong or perhaps maybe missing? I've cut out and sanded and laid out the frame, and only now have I realized that I'm missing the legs. I didn't even buy the wood for the legs. I knew how tall they're supposed to be, I knew how many I needed. I just didn't buy them. Oh gosh, so I guess before I move on, we're going to Home Depot. Before heading out, we planned out the rest of the design just to make sure I didn't forget anything else. We also decided to attach the frame and let the glue set while we were gone. This is where I learned that I hate the impact driver and that I'm really good at stripping bits. Ralph made inserting pocket screws look so easy. It's not, it's horrible. I'd rather scrub toilets than screw in pocket screws. Back from Home Depot, and I have another 2x2. I cut 4 legs at 17¼ inches. Again, I set up a stop block to make sure that all the pieces would end up the same size. Look, the missing 4 pieces. I sorted and marked the legs. I marked the ugly side to have the pocket holes and to be turned facing the inside of the table. Then it was drilling more pocket holes and some more sanding. This round of pocket screw torture was a little less painful. Pushing downward with the driver was easier. Also, using my middle finger on the trigger instead of my index finger somehow made it easier. I don't know the science behind it, but that's what worked for me. I still need so much practice. I used a metal square, clamps, and a scrap 2x4 to help keep the frame square. And I finally stopped stripping the bits. I was really proud of myself for powering through and working through my issues with the impact driver. We're still not friends. This is the frame all done. It's really simple, but I made it. I finally get to move on to something I'm comfortable with, some staining. I'm comfortable with sanding, but gosh, that's easy. So this is a 2-in-1, and it is an indoor stain and polyurethane, so I will be coating it one extra time with an outdoor sealer. So this is gonna look so good in black. The wood got 2 coats of the black stain. I think it starts to look more like furniture at this point. The black stain is so dramatic. It's the next day. I have let this dry overnight. This is 2 coats, and I'm ready to put the top on. Well, pretty much the last part of it all. So I did stain the undersides, and I just need to attach them. So here's my plan. I'm going to glue and brad nail, and then sand everything so it's even, like just so the edges are kind of lined up instead of sanding the boards individually. So I'm going to sand everything together, make it all match up, and then I'm going to stain everything, put on the polyurethane, and after the polyurethane, I'm going to wax it with that bare, dark antique wax. I just think that'll give it such a good look. And I did read you're allowed to do that. It won't ruin either of the finishes. So that's my plan. Now, have you noticed that Ralph has not been bringing me like treats? Like, I thought that's what he was supposed to do. He said he's gonna be my Yoda, so I should have like treats. But like, I only got 1 coffee from him. And that's when like we went to Home Depot to pick up the wood that I forgot. So I'm kind of like, the treat and coffee counting meter is really low. I don't think he's doing his job right. I think we're gonna have to figure out this Yoda business a little bit better. I like treats. Okay, enough of treats. Let's get on to the fun part. To make sure the top has a smooth finish, I filled the nail holes with wood filler. Last, sanding. Not only did I sand the wood filler, but I also rounded out the sides and edges of the 1x6 boards. I stained the top with my Patio go-to color of Flagstone by Varathane. Staining is so calming, the exact opposite of those pocket screws. The sun was beating down and baking the stain in. I could only stain 1 board at a time before I had to wipe it off. While I was staining the last board, a little house finch was tweeting to me. I'm pretty certain that was a sign of approval. I'm now going to apply 2 coats of this clear water-based finish by Varathane. And I'm doing this in the garage with the doors closed because even though it's so much nicer to be working outside, there's too much stuff flying around and I'm afraid things will just get stuck onto the finish. So this is my second last step, yes! And I made a piece of furniture, like a real piece of furniture. Well, real-ish. Last step. I built a piece of furniture. I really did do the whole thing myself. Now, some of my skills might need some refining, but I set out to do something new and I did it. I'm not totally sold on this whole Yoda thing. There really weren't coffee breaks and treats like I was hoping, but I did learn how to use a Kreg Jig and a few other tips like the stop on the Mitre stand, so I will give Ralph points for that. I already have ideas for other projects to build, so to see those, remember to subscribe to our channel and drop me a comment of what your first build was and how that turned out. I'll see you soon with another project. Bye! I just lit. I'm done. There's like someone drilling, and then a lot of cars, and I have to go pick up Claire because we're going thrifting. Thrifting, not with Ralph. He don't do that. And then, oh, Batman's coming today to check out the bat situation. So I should go do other stuff. All right, bye.